Mm, 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 mm. What's up, Jones? Oh oh my god. And we're gonna watch. Because I don't feel like listening to any music right now. Yeah, I'm good. I've had this fucking cough for like a couple weeks now. Mm. I think you are too. I just had one customer. Oh no. First one, 20. Two plates. A large one and a small one. I went out my house, 12 o'clock. Two left? Where's he going?
No, mom, she actually biting now.
She be biting.
No, like biting for real, for real. Like did I tell you how she cut my hand? Man, I had said how bad she cut my hand. Bro, I was bleeding for real. Bad.
Like, mm, mm, mm.
As an additional precaution, Sharon was given a breathalyzer test, which returned a negative result. Autumn was also taken to a hospital to be examined for any signs of violence, and no evidence of harm was found. Still, Tony was dissatisfied with their outcome. He insisted on a hair follicle test, insisting that the breathalyzer results were unreliable. Despite these events, Sharon was initially willing to grant Tony visitation rights, believing him to be a good father. She sought full custody of Autumn while allowing Tony's scheduled visitation. Tony, on the other hand, wanted full custody of his daughter. He attempted to have the case moved to Nassau County, where he was living with his family, but the judge denied the request. In late April, Tony posted a photo of Autumn on Facebook with the caption, "I miss her." This is about the same time that Sharon and her sister Nicole began to notice what they described as increasingly irrational behavior from Tony.
What's wrong?
Nicole and Sharon both
You
knew that Sharon was in danger.
leave.
Nicole stating, "He was acting kind of
Let's get
crazy
this out.
since the breakup. And with his behavior, it did cross my mind that he may do something to harm my sister."
Why you go outside? It's 12 o'clock.
Realized was that Autumn was
I was like into the thing. I just stepped out and agreed to it.
Judge ruled that Tony would have custody
Bad
of
the
her
game.
for the weekend of May
Yes.
4th and May 5th. On April 23rd, Sharon took a day off work and ordered the court to cancel.
Where's Keisha?
She was on vacation at the time, so she had to read for my child's safety and
All the birthdays after we get out into the
That's what they got one at Habitat.
yeah.
my child is in danger while in his care. Get the job you want by getting your resume.
Is TV and living room lagging? I was just asking.
With resume. Sharon also told the court that she witnessed Tony stalking her for several days, that Tony had scratched her car from the trunk to the front fender. Ultimately, court attorney referee Margaret Mulrooney adjourned the matter until June. For Sharon, this delay was catastrophic. So the court order remained in place, requiring Sharon to hand Autumn over to Tony for the next visit.
In the early morning hours of May 4th, 2019, Sharon braided Autumn's hair before the scheduled exchange. During a previous visit with Tony, Autumn had returned home unkempt. According to later reports, a member of Tony's family took a photograph of him removing Autumn's braids and sent it to Sharon. Tony first took Autumn to the local salon, and by coincidence that day, Sharon was also there. Sharon approached and attempted to comfort Autumn, but Tony intervened, yelling at her to get away from her before picking the child up himself. Sharon feared that any resistance could jeopardize her custody rights, so she complied and stepped away. She later expressed distress over how Autumn's hair had been set, stating, "They cut my daughter's hair, straightened my daughter's hair, and had her looking like a grown girl." After leaving the salon, Tony contacted Sharon and accused her of hitting Autumn in the stomach. He claimed that Autumn was experiencing abdominal pain and alleged that Sharon had physically harmed her. Tony then took Autumn to Cohen Children's Medical Center in New Hyde Park for evaluation. At the hospital, Tony told the staff that Sharon had beaten Autumn. He further alleged that Sharon was a drug dealer and a drug user. When Sharon arrived at the hospital, Autumn attempted to sit on her mother's lap, but Tony prevented it. It was painfully obvious how much Tony was jealous of the close relationship Sharon had with her daughter. Even after the two had a heated argument in the emergency room, Tony was allowed to take the toddler home with him for the whole rest of the weekend.
The
Thank you,
following morning,
D-Nice.
Tony repeatedly called Sharon. She didn't answer. She had enough of Tony's behavior. Being desperate, Tony contacted one of Sharon's cousins who lived in California. According to that cousin, Tony indicated that he was a danger to himself and Autumn during the call. Alarmed, the cousin immediately told Sharon to get the police involved. This is when Sharon decided to return Tony's call in an effort to calm him down. During the call, Tony became increasingly agitated and yelled, "Do I have your attention now? I got your attention now. You're never going to see your daughter again." Sharon immediately called 911. Police officers arrived. Sharon placed another call to Tony, this time on FaceTime, hoping to prove to officers why he was a danger to their daughter. But that plan backfired. After Tony noticed a police officer in the background, he became enraged and yelled, "I know you're talking to the cops." Sharon replied saying, "Yeah, I am. You're fucking crazy. Where's my daughter?" Tony refused to say where him and Autumn were. Instead, he told Sharon that he would make her crazy for good, ensuring she would never see her child again before hanging up. When Sharon called him back, Tony responded only by yelling incoherently before disconnecting. Just hours before all of this took place,
Keisha.
it showed her sitting on a countertop with pink and purple balloons behind her. In the comment section, Tony's friends spoke positively, having no idea what was really going on. Sharon went with the police to the NYPD's 113th precinct. While there, she learned of an emergency call about a fire that came in at approximately 8:52 p.m. According to the report, a man driving along Baisley Boulevard, Queens, noticed a 2008 Audi A6 driving erratically before suddenly veering onto a sidewalk near 154th Street, where it went up in flames. Tony owned this very same car. A man climbed out of the car while the car was in flames.
Oh yeah.
Caller pulled over.
What's up, 411?
Turned out to be Tony. As he helped put him out, Tony yelled that his baby was still in the car. The bystander attempted to get in the car but couldn't. This is when he dialed 911. When Tony realized what was going on, he jumped into nearby Baisley Pond, tearing off his clothes as he ran. According to later reports, Tony had also FaceTimed Sharon while the car was on fire. Sharon later broke down in tears as she described what happened.
And when he calls me on video chat, I see a video of my daughter burning in the background. Burning in the background. Like, saw that. I'm like, I think he's burning her. There's a fire. I think he's burning her. He set himself on fire. He jumped out the car. Tried to get into the pond. Left my daughter burning.
When authorities arrived, the scene was completely out of control and completely
Mm.
First responders did everything to save Autumn, but there was very little that they could do. Car's door handles had melted, and although firefighters managed to force the rear doors open, there were chains sealing them shut from the inside. Inside the back seat, there was a tube running with a propane left wide open to feed a fire. Small plastic gas cans, partially burned, were found in both the front and the back seats.
Mm. Whew. What's up, OG?
Tony had also drenched the back seats of the car.
Really, really what?
It was painfully obvious it was Tony's plan all along to burn Autumn alive in the car. Autumn was still strapped into her car seat. By the time firefighters finally reached her, she was in critical condition, but she was somehow still alive. She was rushed to Jamaica Hospital in Queens, where she was pronounced dead shortly afterward.
Authorities began searching for Tony, who was nowhere to be found. Not long after, someone noticed a piece of clothing smoldering in flames along the road leading towards the pond, and that's how police arrested the father who burned his daughter alive. Tony was found in just his underwear, covered in second and third degree burns. The sources we found differ on this exact percentage, but his burns covered roughly 70% of his body. He was arrested and taken to the burn unit at New York Presbyterian in Manhattan. What makes this even more devastating is that Sharon was taken by authorities to the burning Audi on 154th Street. She stood there
What?
and witnessed her daughter's final moments that week. Something that no
I'm listening to a podcast.
she thinks. After I saw my daughter, I knew there was no way she survived that. I knew she was dead from the moment they took her out of the car. Autumn was her first, and
What's up, Robert?
come with shock.
What?
She was taken to the medical center where an officer later informed her of her daughter's death. She collapsed in tears. Following
My
day,
head hurts.
Tony
Good,
was
Keisha.
arson, and murder in connection with Autumn's death. Because of his condition, he remained in
Asian.
the hospital while recovering from his injuries. Around the same time, one of Tony's former coworkers named Angel Rivera came forward. He described Tony as increasingly unstable after
I'm chilling, Robert. What's up, Jeffrey?
for an Angel. Tony had complained that his daughter was being exposed to weed.
People accuse me of letting people eat in front of her. It wasn't true. No, that's not true. Nobody smoking weed in front of my.
He
Oh.
left the same child to burn alive. Angel, there was a lot of stress building up to explode up like that.
Oh my
There's also
god.
existed within the Child Services Administration.
What's up, Jimbo?
While those records were never made public, it appeared that both Tony and Sharon had filed allegations against one another. Further investigation into Tony's background also showed that it wasn't his first arrest either. Back in 2013, 6 years before he killed his daughter, Tony had been arrested and charged with aggravated assault and harassment involving his 21-year-old ex-girlfriend.
What's that, Raymond?
Knowledge of this when she dated Tony. She only learned about it after Autumn's death, as the case had been sealed. Records also indicated at least 2 additional arrests, though details of those cases were never made public because they were also sealed. Ron said if she had known about any of this at all, she wouldn't have even dated him, let alone have a child with him. While no reasonable person could blame Sharon for this, she still felt guilty. She later said that if she had only violated the court order and kept Autumn with her, and instead went to jail herself, it would have been better than losing her child. But if she had done that, it is likely Autumn would have ended up in Tony's clutches anyways. It's our opinion that she did everything she could have done to keep her daughter safe. She later spoke about her resentment towards Tony, saying, "He's the fucking devil. He's the devil. His family is responsible too. They've called ACS on me so many times with so many lies. I wish I could torture him and kill him. I can't imagine the pain my baby went through. She was burnt terribly. Her bones were out and he ran out and left her to burn to death. Why would he do this to my daughter to get to me? It doesn't make sense. I want him to live and suffer for what he did to my daughter."
Sadly, that wish would never come true. Shawn never received any real closure for her daughter's death, as the man responsible for it ended up dead himself. On Tuesday, January 28, 2020, Tony died from his own burn injuries. According to sources, he was taken off life support at 6:20 p.m. Sharon later attempted to sue the city, but was told that pursuing legal action would not be successful. 9 months after the incident, Sharon's mother Denise said that Sharon had been living in constant agony since the tragedy. Still, she was trying to move forward. She had recently returned to work, hoping that falling back into a routine might help her cope with the loss. Denise also spoke about Tony, saying, "He was so selfish. He wanted to hurt my daughter, so he murdered my grandbaby. He burnt her alive." Tony's family never reached out to Sharon's family afterward, nor did they offer any condolences. They
Oh,
also
Lost
refused to.
Pup. Thank you.
Following the tragedy, a Brooklyn-based social worker
Right.
reached out to Sharon and offered to counsel her free of charge for an entire year.
I'm about to run to
Sharon
bed.
accepted the offer. She also chose to share memories of Autumn in an effort to make sure she would never be forgotten. She smiled as she recalled how playful she was and what a little prankster she could be.
Amazon offers hourly employees health care on day one for the whole family.
Oh my god. I want to go to bed, but I'm scared I'm gonna get hit by a coughing spell.
She
And
personally
that's the last thing. You're welcome.
was filled with tributes to her daughter. A beautiful photo of Autumn sat on the coffee table.
What?
An angel statue stood beside a portrait, and a candle burned near a poster placed next to her baby picture. Autumn's crib had been transformed into a shrine adorned with stuffed animals and tributes from family and friends. A white rose
Be
rested inside, alongside a blanket covered in mother and daughter.
not really.
There was
Just a
also
little bit of the
from the local team bearing the number
just walking around a little bit.
issued by August Tony High School, which honored Autumn's memory by dedicating an entire football season to her.
That big stand is crazy.
Back. Sharon also had Autumn's name tattooed across her shoulder, surrounded by autumn leaves.
What's going on where?
She wore another tattoo on her arm and one on her neck as well.
What, Robert? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get it together.
According to Sharon, everyone went on with her life, but she never forgot the happy moment she shared with Autumn. Said, "My daughter's story needs to be told, and she needs a voice." What I really want to know here is what the hell was Tony actually thinking? Like, what was his end plan here? Did he
Oh my god.
genuine belief that if he killed Autumn, that this was going to punish Sharon? Like, what was he thinking here? He's in a car where he's chained the door shut. There's gasoline in here. Did he think he was going to survive this?
I don't think that he did.
Like, how do you expect to walk away from that?
We'll never know, because to try to apply a rational lens to what a person willing to kill their own child is thinking, there's going to be some disconnects. But I would reason to believe that he just didn't expect to survive this. That his ultimate goal was to kill.
I'm tired.
That
He's going to do that, it's going to, be one of those situations that YouTube doesn't like us talking about, where he's going to visit the self checkout in this type of situation.
yeah.
Why'd he get out and jump in the
Well-
water and try to flee?
Well, this is quite a common thing. And I have to be careful with certain terminology. People who use
What we're talking about here, so I think it's mine.
people who are successful, depending on the method, you might find that they struggled or tried to get out of it last minute, or tried to save themselves. And I think that when you're on fire, that's essentially what happened with him. He had gasoline poured into the back. He had canisters. That was somebody that was trying to make their car blow up. It's really hard to wrap my mind around this. How somebody could sit there, even in a moment of rage. They talk about crime of passion in the court of law.
Yeah.
This is something so different. When you think about the mentality of somebody in a crime of passion scenario from a legal lens, they're not thinking about doing this.
It's a control thing. That's probably why he called Sharon. He's trying to hurt her last minute here. He should just like he tried to control the situation when he changed her name to Zoe.
And we can talk about
Even
that.
though Sharon did not want that. So
Yeah,
he's trying to in all different ways. He's trying to control the situation with the females in his life.
the birth certificate thing is the very first example
Yeah.
of Tony attempting to have control over the situation.
Well, try to think about this from Sharon's angle too. Like, she is I don't want to say an older woman. She's not an older woman. She's about my age, but she struggled with fertility. She never thought she was having a child. She has this beautiful daughter, and then Tony just, you don't do that.
I'm happy to have a daughter. I'll
I
accept
thought her so bad.
birth certificate, but to her credit, but she's still
Like, when this is her one chance at being a mom, like having her own child, like, screwed up.
I'm gonna fall asleep. Like my throat hurts.
This is the mother of the baby and her boyfriend are now facing first-degree murder charges after a weeks-long investigation. It all happened back at the end of July in Lakewood. Officers were called to a home on the north side of the city, and that's where they say they found the 2-month-old dead.
In the summer of 2024, a case has emerged from Lakewood, Colorado. This is the story of Lisa Marie Johnson and Alexandra Davila
Ah,
of 11-week-old Ezra Johnson. Now, Lisa was born September 15th,
bro, my fucking chat was stuck, bro.
At the time of the incident, she is the mother of Ezra.
My
Johnson.
bad, K-Twine.
Lakewood with her boyfriend.
My chat was fucking froze, bruh.
The couple shared a residence where they were caring for the infant. Now, Alexander, he was also a probation for a prior drug offense at the time of Ezra's death. He also had 3 other drug felonies on his record. 3 felonies. I don't even have a friend. He said that he have a tumultuous childhood involving drug withdrawal since birth, abusive parents, and a stint of sobriety. As for Lisa, she had a lifelong pattern of drug abuse and poverty. She also had 3 other children, all taken away due to her addiction. Wow. She still had custody of Ezra at the time. She was homeless, and Alexander offered her a place to stay, even though he knew the home was not safe for a child. He just wanted to help. Now, for Lisa, Denver Human Services were involved. A homeless navigator agency was involved, and she had a woman who already adopted her 3rd child. This woman was going to take Ezra, but Lisa said no and chose to live in the rough conditions under Alexander. Now, at the time of the incident, what is known is that they were living together and were both present in the home during the events that would lead to this criminal charge. So we go to July 26, 2024. What I'm about to tell you is a first. I've never heard this kind of crime before, so I hope you're ready. So, Lakewood police responded to an emergency call. There was an unresponsive infant. The call came from the residence where they were both living. When they arrived at the scene, they found an 11-week-old unresponsive. And despite many efforts that may have been to revive the child, Ezra was confirmed deceased at the scene. Now, the sudden death of an infant immediately triggered a thorough investigation. Lakewood police began working to determine the circumstances surrounding the baby's death. Now, I've requested the file, the body cam footage, and the police interviews, so when I see them, you'll see them. Now, the Jefferson County Coroner's Office became involved to determine the cause of death. The infant's body was examined, and investigators began the process of interviewing those present in the home and examining the scene. The investigation into Ezra's death extended over several months. The coroner's findings were crucial, and after completing the toxicology testing, the coroner determined that Ezra had died from meth toxicity. The presence of the controlled substance in the infant system was not incidental. The levels were lethal. Further investigation revealed how the meth entered the baby's system. The investigators determined Ezra had been given a bottle and it had meth inside of it. Yes, have you ever heard that before? The baby's bottle, when you feed a child, and it probably would have been a small bottle given the child's age, they put meth in it. So this discovery shifted the investigation from a potential accident or natural cause to a criminal matter involving adults. The question of how a baby bottle came to be contaminated with a controlled substance became central to the investigation. So, 4 months after the boy's death, Lisa and Alexander were arrested in November 2024. The arrest came after investigators had completed their examination of the evidence and the coroner had issued findings regarding the death. Reports indicated charges as severe as first-degree murder, reflecting the gravity
I
of
fell
the
asleep on
situation.
y'all.
His death had resulted from the ingestion of a controlled substance.
No, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Both defendants were
Good
represented
night.
by the counsel as they faced charges related to the death. And given the sorry state of the case and the manner of the death,
Tired.
and Alex entered guilty pleas. Rather than proceeding to trial, both defendants accepted plea.